Hello everyone and welcome to day 3 of week 2 of the Just Show Up for 21 Days challenge. I'm your coach and workout partner Nitish Pilar, and I'm going to be taking you through a wonderful recovery session which we like to call as pain relief, posture correction and performance improvement. Before we get started, make sure you have your water bottle, hand towel and your yoga mat to get started, and just make sure that we are going to focus on a lot of dynamic stretches throughout this session. We'll do a bunch of stretches in one go and follow that as a flow for multiple rounds. A lot of our members really look forward to the Wednesday session. They in fact call it as a Wednesday session to be a spa session. So just follow along, enjoy the session, and let's get started. The first movement of today's workout is going to be what we call as 90-90 leaning rotations. So for that, you're going to basically sit down on your mat. Keep your feet at a 90-degree angle at both sides. One knee is going to be at a 90 degree, the other knee is also going to be at a 90-degree angle. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to basically lean forward, get the forehead touch the floor in front of our knee, get up, switch our knees to the opposite side and repeat the same. We're going to keep doing this for 20 reps each side. So that was 4 reps, right? So let's keep going for this. We're going to do 10 reps each side and then we'll move on to the next move. Let's get started. Everybody sit down on your mat, feet wide enough that you can keep your knees at a 90-degree angle, and let's get started. That's going to be 1, 1. Switch. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. Alright, that was our first movement. The next movement is what we call the child's pose walk around, and with that we're going to also be doing a trap stretch, which means we'll start off with sitting down on our mat, on our knees. We get into a nice good child's pose by stretching our arms forward, keeping our forehead down on the floor. This is our child's pose. Now what we do is you basically walk outside as much as you can, reach one end, and wherever you are, whichever is your outer arm, hold it on your neck and bend the neck to the opposite side. That will be 1 rep. Come back to the other side and repeat the same thing with the opposite side. Alright, so when I come back to the starting position, that will be 1 rep. We are going to repeat that for 10 reps each side. Let's get started. Child's pose and walk on. That's 1. 2, this is again 2, 3, 3. 4, 4, 5, and 5. We repeat that for 5 more reps. Again, child's pose, move around. That's 6. 7. 8. Try and hold the trap stretch for about a second and then come back to the opposite side. 9. One last rep. And that would be 10 reps. Alright. From there, we move on to our next movement, which is going to be downward dog to lizard. So, we are going to basically start from the downward dog position, which means start from your high plank, raise your hips up, your downward dog. From here, what you're going to do is, for the lizard, get one leg in the front, drop the back knee down onto the floor. Right? From there, come back to your downward dog and repeat the same thing on the opposite side. And come back to downward dog. Alright? We're going to try and do 10 reps each side. Starting from the high plank, raise your hips up, that's downward dog, lizard, downward dog, lizard. Alright, again back to downward dog, lizard, downward dog, lizard. That's 2 reps. Let's keep going. Lizard, lizard. 3, 4. 5. Keep moving. 7. 9. 10. That would be 10. Alright, moving on to the next stretch. We are going to be doing frog position with an internal hip rotation lift. What does that mean? You're going to basically go down into the frog position. I'll show it to you from both sides. So what you basically want to do is, knee should be in line with your hip and knee should be in line with your ankle. Now, if I showed the same thing from the side, it's basically going to look like this. Notice how my ankle is in line with the knee is in line with the hip. Now, in this position, what you're actually going to do is keep your ankles on the floor, knees in line with your hips. You can drop your elbows down. All you have to do is try and raise your ankle up and down. Just notice my ankles up and down, up and down, up and down. We're basically going to do 10 reps each leg and we'll try and do it alternately. Alright, let's get started. Get into a nice good position and let's go. Up and down, 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 up and down. That's 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, that was our fourth or rather fifth stretch. The next stretch is going to be what we call the figure 4 with a forward fold. For this you will always need a chair, and you would basically want to get down on your chair in a seated position. Get your ankle up on one knee, and from this position what you want to basically do is lean forward and stay there for 60 seconds, right? Once you're done with that, you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm going to give you the count. Get one ankle on the opposite knee, try and press the knee slightly down, and let's hold it for 60 seconds. Lean forward, hold for 60 seconds. Feel a great stretch in your ankles. I'm sorry, I think I just mentioned ankles. Feel a great stretch in your glutes. You're almost halfway there. If you can actually lean forward, you should try and get your forehead closer and closer towards your toes. That is what is actually going to give you a tremendous stretch in your glutes. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Switch leg, get the opposite ankle up and lean forwards once again. Press the knee down, get your forehead closer and closer towards your toes, and you'll feel an amazing stretch in your glute. Whichever knee is bent, the same glute is going to feel that stretch. Twenty more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, that was one flow. We are going to repeat this for one more cycle, and then we have another flow which we'll repeat for 2 cycles, right? Because we've just done with one cycle, we're going to grab some water, keep ourselves hydrated. One of the most important aspects of your health, keeping yourself hydrated throughout. If you notice your lifestyle score as well, you'll see hydration as a very important aspect, of which water intake kind of forms the most important and essential part. And if you're wondering what am I actually having with my water, it's basically a vitamin C tablet, because we generally kind of are always deficient in terms of vitamins. So it actually helps you replenish your body really well. And this is something, it helps me a lot when I train, so I kind of add a flavor to it as well. It kind of adds a flavor to it and helps me a lot with my recovery and hydration, electrolyte balance as well. Alright, I think it's time we can start this once again. The second set. The first movement is what we call the 90-90 leaning rotations. Again, you're going to get back on the mat, stay seated, and get your knees to a 90-90 position. Remember, 20 reps in total, 10 reps each side. So what am I going to do? Lean forwards, get my forehead down on the floor in front of my knee. That's going to be my first rep. Switch knees, go to the opposite side, lean forward. 1. 9 more to go. When you do this, again, you're going to feel a great stretch around your hip area, your glutes, your adductors, your groin. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 8. 9. 10 and 10. All right. The next stretch is going to be what we call the child's pose walk around. I'm going to show it with the front view because it's going to help you understand how to move your arms. So get down into a nice good child's pose. Stretch your arms to the front. Stretch your arms to the front, and from that position all you have to do is walk around sideways with your palms. Once you reach to the right side, bend your neck to the right, hold for a second, move to the left side completely and bend your neck to the left. Right? Again, hold for a second. We are going to do a total of 10 reps each side. That's 2. Come back. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5. 6. 6. 7. 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. All right, that was our second stretch. The third stretch is what we call the downward dog to lizard. For this, you're going to lie down in a high plank first, right? From here, raise your hips up, get into a nice good downward dog position. From there, get one leg straight to the front, drop your knee down, look to the front, and that will be your lizard. Hold this position for a second, come back to downward dog, switch legs, come back to downward dog once again. We're going to do this 10 reps each side. Let's keep moving. That's 2. And back. 2. And back. 3. And back. 3. And back. 4. and back. 4 and back. Every time you have a unilateral movement, it's so hard to keep your focus on counting it right. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 10 and 10. All right, so that was our next stretch. Okay, moving on. The next stretch is going to be what we call the frog pose internal hip rotation lifts. For this, we'll drop down our knees onto the mat, spread your knees out enough that your knees are in line with your hips and your knees are in line with your ankles. The inner portion of your knee will be touching the floor. Drop your elbows down, and all you have to do is raise your ankle up, drop it down, raise the opposite ankle up and drop it down. While you do that, you'll feel a great stretch in the inner portion of your thighs. We'll do a total of 20 reps, 10 reps each side. Let's get going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 10. All right. Moving on to the next one. We are going to get started with the final stretch of this flow, which is going to be the figure 4 forward fold. So grab a chair, keep yourself seated on the chair, get one ankle up onto the opposite knee and lean forwards such that your forehead is coming close to your toes, and let's hold it for 60 seconds. Again, this should help you with a great stretch in your glutes, which is the outer portion of your bum. The more you press the knees downwards and you lean forward with your forehead coming closer and closer to the toe, you are going to feel that much better a stretch. Twenty more seconds. And 3, 2, 1 and switch sides. We're going to get the ankle down, get the opposite ankle up on the knee, push the knee downwards and lean forward to get your forehead closer and closer towards the toes. Let's hold it for 60 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Keep breathing. And time's up. Okay, so that marks the end of 2 sets of our first flow. We're going to take a 3-minute break right now. I'm timing that. Rest. You can have some water. Walk up and down your mat. Just let your muscles get some fresh blood from all the work that we've done till now. And from there, we'll move on to our next flow, which is going to be a total of 5 movements. Again, just like we did in the beginning, we're going to be repeating that for 2 sets. Some of them are going to be in the rep format, and one movement is going to be a time-based format. And while we are resting right now, let's also kind of remember and discuss about the challenges. Head over to the challenge tab on the Back to Basics app to find out what are the challenges for the week. Your activity challenge is basically to complete 7,500 steps. Go ahead and do check out the nutrition challenge and your sleep challenge as well. These challenges are designed in a fashion which will help you build healthier habits across your sleep, activity, nutrition, hydration, and your energy levels. You will also notice that if you follow these challenges, it will have an impact on your lifestyle score. It's going to actually help you improve your lifestyle score on a day-to-day basis. And when you practice these challenges across a week, across the entire program, it eventually develops as a habit. And you'll see that even though you don't put in a lot of effort, you will be actually able to follow it without a lot of struggle. And that is what we are all trying to achieve, right? If working out and staying healthy becomes as easy as drinking water, we will never have to worry about getting inconsistent or getting off track. That's the whole concept of Back to Basics. Stick to the basics, and by the time you feel you mastered them, it's time to start all over again, this time paying more attention to detail. So you'll notice we do a lot of basic fundamental movements, a lot of squats, a lot of deadlifts, a lot of lunges, a lot of pushing movement, a lot of pulling movement, rows, presses, etc. And we just kind of play around with the rep scheme, play around with the number of sets that we do, play around the way we choose weights, unilateral, bilateral, and all of that is just going to help you fix your basics and see those results that you always have desired. Okay, we are 15 seconds left. In fact, no, not 15, about 40 seconds left before we start with our next flow. The first movement is going to be our downward dog toe touches, which means we start off from the downward dog, we go down and touch the opposite ankle. I am going to actually show the same to you. I'm going to try and keep the mat in a diagonal position just so that you have a better look at this movement, right? So, okay, let's get started. We just have 10 seconds right now. So the movement that I mentioned, downward dog alternating toe touches, is you start off from a high plank. From there, raise your hips up to get into a nice good downward dog position. From there, go back, touch your toe, come back to downward dog, go back, touch the opposite toe, come back to downward dog. 1, back to downward dog, 2, back to downward dog. So if you count it this way, it's going to be a total of 40 reps, which means 20 reps. No, sorry, it's going to be a total of 20 reps with 10 reps each side. 40 will be when we combine both the sets. Alright, let's get started. Get into a nice good downward dog position. Raise your hips up. Touch the heels down to the floor. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's keep moving. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, the next movement is what we call the quadrupt thoracic rotation. Again, I'm going to start off with the left arm, which will give you a very good idea of to what are we doing. and then I'll show you with the right arm. We're going to do 10 reps each side. So first of all, the quadruped position is very simple. Like the name suggests, it's basically getting down into a four-legged position. So if I get down, my palms are under my shoulders, my knees are under my hips, right? This is my quadruped position. When I say thoracic rotation, I will first get my palm on my neck. I'm going to get the elbow down, point the elbow up towards the ceiling, down and up towards the ceiling. If you notice, my upper back is actually rotating through a 180-degree range of motion, and that actually helps me split my, it actually helps me rotate my thoracic spine really well. Alright, we're going to do 10 reps each side. Let's get into a nice good quadruped position, everybody. From there, get your palm onto your neck. Let's go for 10 reps of the thoracic quadruped rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Alright, moving on to the opposite side. Again, palm on your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, that was our second movement. The third movement is what we call the quadruped shoulder car. Alright, so for this, again, you're going to stay in the quadruped position. This time, your palms are going to be on the neck, but the elbows are going to be pointing forwards. In the thoracic rotation, we kept the elbows pointing sideways. Here, you are going to keep the elbows pointing forwards with the palm on your neck. From here, extend your arms, make as big a circle as possible, and get it back on your lower back. And when you keep your palm on your lower back, your palm is going to be facing the ceiling, right? When I'm in this position, the palm is going to be facing the ceiling, and when I get my arm up, the palm is going to be facing my neck. Okay, that is what is going to be your shoulder guard. Again, we are going to be doing 10 reps each arm. Let's get going. Palm on your neck, elbows pulled as high as you can. Let's go for 10 reps. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10 reps. All right. Next, we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite arm. Again, elbows pointed forward, palm on your neck. Let's go. 10 reps. Out and back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. All right, that was our third movement. For the next movement, I'm going to again get the mat back to parallel because it's going to be visible in a better fashion for that. So, how are we going to hold it? This is called the groin rockbacks. Okay. So for this, we are basically going to get down on our knees. Okay. And get one leg out so that the knee is locked out straight. In this position, you're going to drop both your elbows down. If you're finding it extremely challenging to drop your elbows down, you can also keep your palms as well if this is slightly more relaxing for you. And in this position, all you have to do is rock back and forth. Okay? Now, if you had to look at it from the side, say I'm doing this with the opposite leg, all I am doing is rock back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, the movement is very simple. You're going to be doing 20 reps on each side. Okay, one knee on the floor, other leg pointed out. Make sure that the toes are pointing forwards, knees are locked. If you can't keep the toes pointing forwards, you can also point it slightly outside, but you want to keep the knees locked for sure. See if you can drop your palms or your elbows so that you can easily rock for back and forth. Let's go for 20 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 8, 5. See, I said whenever you're focusing way too much on the movement, it's so hard to focus on the counting. 3, 2, and 1. Alright, that's the end on the right side. We move on to the left side. Again, knee on the floor, leg extended out, knees locked. Drop the elbows down if you can't keep your palms down on the floor, and let's rock back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. That was our fourth movement. Now, for the final movement, it's a rather simple one. We always try and end the PPP session with a nice good stretch. Of course, we are not ending with this flow. We'll repeat this flow for one more time, but this is definitely going to be our last movement for the day. The movement is called a seated hamstring stretch. So I want you to sit down on your mat, legs extended straight forward, knees locked, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. See if you can lean forward, grab your toes. If you can't grab your toes, see till what point can you go where you can no longer keep your knees straight. So the moment your knees start to bend, stop there and try and lock your knees out, right? For example, in my case, I can touch my toes, I can touch my feet, I can touch my heels. I can also get my knees to touch my forehead as well. It's only going to help you stretch your hamstring. And we're going to hold this for 2 long minutes. So find a spot that will actually work for you where you can hold and actually feel a stretch in the hamstring. Okay, we are going to get started and hold it for 120 seconds. Let's go. Keep breathing. If you're not able to actually get into a deep stretch, that's fine. Keep doing some deep breaths. Every time you exhale, try and get deeper and deeper into a stretch. It's really going to help you stretch that hamstring very well. $50 seconds up, 70 seconds more to go. 50 more seconds. Keep breathing. Like I said, every time you exhale, get deeper and deeper into the stretch. Last 20 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that was one full flow of our second cycle. We're going to take a short break and we're going to repeat this for one more cycle. All right. So while we are resting, let's make sure that we are keeping ourselves hydrated. I really like this water bottle, which always reminds us to stay hydrated. One of the simple yet very effective principles of back to basics. All right. We're going to get started with one more set. Again, we're going to start off with the downward dog alternating toe touches. So I'm going to get the mat into a diagonal position so that it's clearly visible. We're going to do a total of 20 reps, 10 reps each side. So starting off from a high plank, stay in that nice good high plank, raise your hips up, touch the heels down to the floor, and that will be our downward dog position. From here, we're going to get started and touch our toes alternately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. That was a downward dog alternating toe touches. The next movement is going to be what we call the quadruped thoracic rotation. So, starting off from the quadruped position, get your palm on your neck, elbows pointing sideways, point the elbow down, point the same elbow up. Let's go for 10 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switching the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. The next one is going to be our quadruped shoulder cuffs. So get back to the quadruped position. Get your palm on your neck with the elbow pointing forward. Keep the elbows as high as you can. From there, extend your arms, come back onto your lower back, extend your arms, come back onto your neck. We'll do 10 reps each side. Let's go. That's 2. 3, 5. This is one super effective movement that will actually make your deltoids burn. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Moving on to the other side. And move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Moving on, the next stretch is going to be what we call the groin rock backs. I'm going to move the mat back so that I can do it from the front view. So for this, we are going to start off this time with the opposite leg. So I'm going to drop my right knee down, get my ankle out, drop my elbow down, and rock back and forth for 20 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch legs. Get the opposite leg out, knee down on the floor, drop your elbow down. If you're struggling to drop your elbows down, you can keep your palms down as well and rock back and forth for 20 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And one last stretch for the day, which is going to be our seated hamstring stretch. So you're going to be seated with your legs straight forward. From there, you're going to grab your toes or whatever point till where you can bend without keeping your knees bent. So if your knees start to bend, you don't have to go that far. Only go that far where you can keep your knees locked. All right. Grab your toes or your heels. Keep your knees locked, bend down, and feel a great stretch in your hamstring. Let's hold this for 2 minutes, and that will be the end of today's session. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. With every exhale, try and go deeper and deeper into the stretch. 45 seconds up. 60 seconds left. We're exactly halfway there. Last 30 seconds. And feel a great stretch in my hamstrings. Keep breathing. With every exhale, see if you can push that stretch a little bit more. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, that brings us to the end of our recovery session for week 2. I absolutely loved this session. We did a bunch of movements to open up our lower body. We did a great lot of movements for our upper body, and we did 2 sets of both the cycles. And I actually feel like I can move very much better at this point. Feel free to tag us on your social media handles as to how did you like the workout and how are you liking the 21-day show up challenge. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to see you show up on the mat once again tomorrow for a wonderful lower body strength and HIIT workout. Until then, stay fit, stay healthy, and stick to the basics.